Introducing the Paddy Power World Darts Championships.
Luke Humphries, many congratulations. I know we spoke last night, but this morning you are the world champion. Is it quite sunk in yet?
I mean, it's one of them things I think is going to take a very, very long time before I'm, allowing that to sink in. I think when John McDonald maybe announces me, that's an iconic moment, and when John McDonald announces you as world champion, so it's something that's going to take a long time before it really does sink in properly.
It's been a whirlwind 3 months since winning your first, and now you're sat here with everything. Can you quite believe what you've done in such a short space of time?
Yeah, I can't believe what I've achieved in such a short space of time. When I won my first major at the Grand Prix, that was, that's how the season would have ended, then I'd have looked at it as a success. And then obviously going and picking up the Grand Slam as well, that was, even more of a dream. And then obviously another one again for the Players' Championships, and then to go on and win the world as well and be world #1. It's, it's just unprecedented. I can't believe, imagined, I never would have imagined this, that this would have happened so early on in my career, but I'm so very proud that it has.
The World Championship itself didn't start on the best of terms, breaking a point, then dodge match darts against Joe Cullen. Are you a believer in fate? And when things like that happen in your first 3 games, do you start to think, hang on a minute, my name might be on this?
Yeah, that was a funny thing. I think I might have been you that said that. Do you believe in fate? And I do, but you still got to go out there and play well and earn the right to still do it. So yeah, I worked so hard for the game against Ricardo to, I really wasn't at my best there, and I managed to find a way to win. And then against Joe, I thought I played well, but he was the better player for the best part of the start. But I come back again, and I showed that so many times. I showed it against Luke last night. And I just showed I got that resilience, that determination, that I'm never down and out. I've always got that, fight and attitude to never give up. And, it allows you to go on and win many major titles, because there's been a lot of tournaments that I've been very, very close to defeat and managed to pull out, a massive, massive performance to go on and win.
The final itself last night was just full of drama. And that dart that Luke missed for 5-2, carbon copy of Michael van Gerwen in 2013, missing darts to go 5-2 up against Phil Taylor, and the results were exactly the same. So it's just remarkable. But in that moment, did you feel that was the moment where the final shifted?
Yeah, I thought it was a moment where the tide had turned a little bit, because if I'd have been 4-2 up and I missed a dart to give 5-2, I might have been thinking about it for 5-10 minutes. And if he was thinking about it for 5-10 minutes, all of a sudden he was 5-4 down. I think the darts is all about momentum, isn't it? And I felt quite blessed and very fortunate to have won that 7th set. And I thought, you've had your opportunity now. You're not going to get many more. You've got to, put in a performance of your life now. And I wasn't playing too bad at the time, but the last 4 sets, I was really, really pleased with it. The way I, handled myself, the way I played, because Luke was fantastic last night. He put me under incredible amounts of pressure, and he made me have to hit every single double under pressure every time. And yeah, that was more aesthetically pleasing for me, the way I handled all them, important doubles under pressure in the right moments.
What was that moment like when you were running down the stairs to give your dad a hug? Because I know so much of an inspiration he's been to your career.
Yeah, he's been the most incredible inspiration to my career. He's, been there for me from day one. I mean, of course, he's my dad. He's been there for me in life, but in darts, he's been there from day one. He's seen me, not believing it was ever going to happen for me, and now he's seen me with the greatest trophy of them all, and he's been through the lot. And like I said in the start of my career, I couldn't drive, so he used to drive me to Barnsley all the time and stay with me, and to have time off work. And he dedicated a lot of his life to what I've done. So that's why I always dedicate every trophy I win to my dad, because it's not possible if it weren't for him. I really mean that.
That beautiful trophy behind, some of the names on there, you've joined Darting Immortality. Have you had a chance to look at those names and think, my name is now among the greats?
Yeah, I had a look yesterday, and obviously there's some incredible names on there, the best of our sport. So, just to have my name on there now is, something that you don't ever believe or know that's going to come true, because there's no guarantees. You could be such a great dart player. There is no guarantee you'll ever be world champion. There really isn't. So for me to do it in that first instance of being in a world final, that's always going to live with me. I'll always be world champion, whether it's reigning, former, or any other situation. I'll always be a former world champion now. And it's something that's ticked off the resume now. It's something that I've always dreamed of doing, and I've finally done it.
Is it nice to prove some of the doubters wrong as well? Not just the fans, but some of the players as well. Michael suggested that you wouldn't be up to the task coming here as favourite. Peter suggested you may not be ready as well. Is that nice to just go, hang on boys, I'm ready?
They know I'm ready now. They definitely do. I mean, I'm not going to get arrogant about it. Of course, sometimes it's played into the mind games, and I think they know all about them sort of things. They try and play down your chances. They want you to believe that. They want you to believe that they don't believe you can win. I know they knew I could win. But of course, when they both walked into that tournament, they believed they could win. And I was in the hot form. They knew I could win it. But I had to go out there and do it myself. And I sent a massive statement out to people that don't believe in me, especially the people at home, because I always get them doubts, and I'll always have them. But it doesn't matter to me anymore. I've achieved everything I've ever wanted.
I remember speaking to you when you won the first one, and you said, I want to win another one quickly because I don't want people to think this was a fluke. Did you really believe that, or was that just something, your default setting, you were like saying?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was. I didn't want it to feel like a fluke, but I didn't want it to be like, you've won one, you got kind of lucky against Peter in the quarters, then you won't win again. I've had it so many times, people saying you'll never win another major title, you'll never win another major title, and I've kept doing it, kept proving them wrong, and I've won the biggest one of them all now. So regardless of what's said about me, I've achieved everything I've ever dreamed of.
It takes two to tango in a great final, and the way Luke Littler has dealt with everything this tournament is an incredible achievement. But did you sense maybe the nerves just got to him in the end a little bit?
I honestly don't think the nerves did. I just think he missed. That obviously, the double 14 and 7. I think the 3 darts, I don't think he missed many shots at double. So I was half expecting it to go in, to be honest. But he's carried himself in such a mature, great manner. He showed great way of defeat yesterday. He was very sort of complimentary towards me. He was telling me to go and enjoy the moment, and that's, for a 16-year-old to be thinking that after he's lost his first world final, is simply incredible. He's a massive talent. He's a great kid. Really is a great kid, and he's got a massive future. I know he will be lifting that trophy one day. That's for sure. We all know that. And I'm hoping that I can win many more and have many more battles up there on the stage with him, because he's a part of the darts elite now, and it's a pleasure to share the stage with him in incredible games like we saw yesterday.
You're a real product of the system as well, the same as Luke. 10 years ago with the development tour, you went on and dominated that, the World Youth, then come through Pro Tour, Euro Tour, TV titles. Are you a real advocate that the system works, and telling the kids coming through, look, go and do the JDC, the Dev Tour, this is how you get to the top?
Well, the 4 semi-finalists have all come through that secondary tour. Rob Cross come through, won the Challenge Tour, and you see, he could become world champion. Scott Williams come through, the Challenge Tour. Luke Littler's come through development tour. I've come through a development tour. So we've all come through them secondary, tours, and we all made the semi-finals of the World Championship. So it's just proven that it does work, and that pays homage to Rod and that, who brought all this system in, because it's allowed people like me to break through and become world champions. So these avenues for everyone, that the secondary tours, you never know when your time can be world champion. It really can come quite fast.
How does it feel as well when you're inspiring this next generation that they've looked up to Eric back in the day, then Phil, then Michael, now you're inspiring these youngsters coming through? How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel great, because obviously I hope that's the case. I hope people do feel inspired, because obviously I've worked incredibly hard. I really have. I've dedicated my life to the sport. Obviously the reward is worth it more than anything, but I hope that I've inspired even just a few youngsters to start playing, and because the sport's growing massively, and if you're going to be a part of it in 10 years time, you're going to be a very wealthy man, and if you're very successful, then you've got lots of things to look forward to.
I know last year there was one thing that annoyed you, was missing out on the World Cup. Now you go there as England captain. How much are you looking forward to that moment?
Yeah, I think that's one of them moments where I'm really looking forward to more than anything. I was just gutted to miss out the way it happened, because I was so close. But I always think everything happens for a reason, and it did. And maybe it wasn't the right time for me to go in a World Cup. Now, of course, I'm more well equipped than ever. playing with Michael Smith, I don't think it's any way it won't be with Michael. So you know, that's you know, something I'm really looking forward to. I think Michael will be looking forward to it as well, because I think, you know, he's been #1 world champion. I think one thing on his resume to tick off would be World Cup champion, and that's on mine as well. So you know, I'll be really looking forward to playing that with him this year, and you know, I'm hoping that we can win that World Cup, because that is something that, like I got asked earlier, that's definitely one of my goals this year.
You've dominated the back end of the year. Do you feel you can now go on and dominate the sport the way Michael did, the way Phil did?
An honest answer, no. I just don't. The sport's too hard to dominate now. It really is. You know, I think we're in an era now where there's too many good players. You know, I've said that after every major I've won, haven't I? But I'll never stop saying it. I think there's too many good players. You know, I will never dominate the sport like Michael or Phil did. You know, and I don't think Luke Littler will dominate the sport like they did either, because we're in an era now where there's just too many good players. But if he does get better and he does get stronger, you know, there is a possibility he could dominate the sport. So it's important for all us players to work harder and dedicate more, because, you know, if he can get better, then it's going to be quite tough to stop him.
Do you feel this is a changing of the guard, in terms of we see you, Luke Littler, all coming through, the youngsters are now dominating these big tournaments and the latter end of them? So do you feel that this is a big shift in darts?
I mean, in a way, yeah. I think that the top 4 in the world are all quite youngish in a way in the sport. You know, I think all under 35 years of age or thereabouts. So, you know, there used to be, most of the top players used to be around about 45 on average. Now, you know, we're at an average age of about 35 in the top 4. So, you know, there is a younger generation that are dominating the sport as a whole, and it's exciting, because, you know, it allows all these youngsters to look up to all of us and think, I want to be doing what they're doing. I want to go on and be world champion. I want to be world #1 and stuff. So, you know, we are sort of inspiring that generation, and dance is hot right now. You know, everybody's watching it. Everybody wants to be a part of it, and you know, it's going to grow to unprecedented heights. You know, we'll do in the next 10 years, that's for sure. But I'm just really happy to be the flag bearer of the sport at this moment in time.
Luke, absolute pleasure, and thanks for your time over the last 3 weeks, buddy.
My pleasure. Thanks, Phil.
Introducing the Paddy Power World Darts Championships.